Welcome back, YouTube. And for those who are new here, welcome to the Calls Beyond live call-in show. Now, this isn't going to be the call-in show portion, but we have some very, very special guests. And for those who are interested in calling in, we are live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I have some very lovely ladies here with me that I talk about, I brag about all the time on the live show. And that is Candace, Erica, and Jasmine from Trinity Oracles. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. They flew all the way from...
They are from Redacted.
Never. So they flew in from Redacted just to come on the show because I literally love these ladies and they have been reading me since. And I'm just so grateful you guys made the trip to come see me. You know, so what we'll be doing today on this episode and the following episodes is chatting with Trinity Oracles, getting their opinion about some of the topics we talk about on this channel and getting some spiritual tea. And if you are not subscribed to their channel, what are we doing? Go subscribe to Trinity Oracles channel. It will be linked down below. Now, ladies, if they have not watched our video, I know a lot of people have come over, especially my patrons. They're like, oh, I had a reading with Erica. I had a reading with Jasmine. So how has things been since the last time we've chatted?
Chaotic.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way,
Yes.
right. You ladies have made a believer out of so many people that are on my Patreon, that are my subscribers. And I tell them, like, I don't let nobody read me, but two entities, and that's Trinity Oracles, and that is Mambo Rose. That's it, you know? So it just makes me smile that you guys can feel the love because every week, even my assistant was like, I love how you always plug them. Like, you always tell people to go see them because they be asking me stuff I don't know the answer to. I'll be like, I don't know. Take a spirit bath, girl. So I was watching one of your videos that you just posted. And it was about Diddy, and that's trending right now. So before we even get into any of the questions, what do you guys think about this mess? It is a dumpster fire right now.
Okay.
Yes.
What's it take?
I feel like with Diddy, the roosters come to roast?
Yes.
Unfortunately for him. And I try to stay, away from that because it's a lot. Once you get sucked in, it's like, okay, I got to go take a walk. I got to go outside because you just have to get that energy off of you because it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, people don't realize that throughout history, rich people have been doing this for years.
Yes.
Kings and queens, the Romans, the Greeks, they've been having wild orgy parties, drug fueled, sex slaves. They've been doing this for years. It's nothing new.
Oh, they're not new to this. They're true to it.
It's just they have social media. Like, people knew they were doing it back then, but,
And y'all called that. I mean, and not even recently. They called it before the whole thing, blew up into what it was last year, I believe. How do you kind of tap into the energy to even know, this is going to happen? I'm sorry, I didn't write that question. It just came off the top of my dome. How do you even do that?
Because each of us have different different ways.
Yeah.
So it's
sometimes you could see a person.
Yeah.
And see okay, this is what they're about. This is the energy coming from them. Sometimes it's random. I could be in the bathroom and I'm like, oh, this is what's going to happen, So it's different for each of us. So.
Is it crazy? I mean, that is crazy work in my head to be scrolling on TikTok on the toilet and then somebody's in my ear Diddy's going to jail. I would be so what? So, and this is not on the list either. I'm sorry, y'all, but I have to ask. So how do you navigate? How do you live life knowing that at any point, a spirit can be hey, girl, hey, and, you just have to kind of deal with it. How is life? What is life?
It's fun. They're not going to come in when we're driving.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just okay, we got a chance to get in. We're going to go ahead and deliver this message.
Yes.
We know Candace is going to go write this down immediately, and they're going to do a video on this topic.
Right.
So it'll come in like that. But for me, the way I tap in is I'm looking at his picture, and I call in his spirit guides, and I'm like, hey, give me
what's
some
going
insight.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, and his spirit guides will give the information, and I'm just like,
yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
Or sometimes I'm just pulling cards and it'll just like.
I already know that feeling where you kind of giggle like, what? Why are you telling me this?
Like I have certain cards that mean like jail. Like one of the cards is like trapped in fear. So the person is like,
yeah.
No.
Yes.
So I'm pulling the cards and I'm like I can hear, okay, Diddy's going to go to prison. And then I'm pulling the cards and then trapped in fear will fall. Or trapped in fear pops up in my future. So I'm like, okay, that's my prison, that's my jail card, you know.
Right,
and that's how he's going to be. You know, that's what's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
What about for you?
Oh, no, it's the same. Oh, you just covered it.
Well, Erica's more of like a writer, though.
I do ghost writing, so I'll just write down Diddy's name, and then all this stuff will start flowing. It's like Diddy's going to jail, Diddy did this.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Like, I personally don't care, but I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, okay, that's wild.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because I know a lot of people that are watching here, you're going to be watching from Calls From Beyond, but Trinity Oracles and I did a interview a couple months ago, and like I said, I feel bad. There are 3 psychics, okay? And they dragged me by my edges, told me everything I needed to know, and I have been back a couple times. So, and still, like, the stuff that they've told me is coming to fruition. Even some of the, like, hottest celebrity tea, they called it years ago. They called it before it dropped. So I just wanted to add that for context that you ladies literally like are the bee's knees. I can't stop ranting and raving. I was like, you have to come here so we can have a conversation because a lot of people have a lot of skepticism around psychics, mediums, different things like that. And there's no way some of the things that you have told me about myself, like on our video on my channel, when you're like, your grandpa said, stop being afraid to drive. That is the dirtiest little secret that no one knows about. I don't even think you knew that. He knew that. But like, that's my chauffeur. He just left to go get my son. I'm like, he'll be back to come get me. But this is the little things like that I would have never even thought that you pick up on. Like, so if you, and we're going to leave all their information at the bottom in the description because somebody has to know how wonderful you ladies are. And the spookiness of it all. And it's probably not even spooky to you guys anymore. It probably scared you whenever you were kids or whatever the case is. So how did you guys adapt to that? Like literally knowing that you were special, knowing that there was something different and that you knew things.
Yeah. It was normal for me. Like I always was considered like not a wild soul, a wise child. Like all the time.
Yes.
Like I just knew things. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this and this is gonna happen. I'm not thinking I was psychic. I didn't know I was psychic.
Right.
I was just like,
this is gonna happen.
Like my friends would come to me and I'm like, what do you think about this guy? And I'm like, I don't know. He's probably gonna cheat. He's a cheating type. Blah blah blah. And I'm just didn't know. I'm channeling. You know.
Yes.
Like, and then they come back to me and they're like, oh my God, you're right. He cheated. Oh,
right.
he did this, you know? Like, and I was like,
well, man, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Like,
so when did y'all really know, like, no, this is not a coincidence. Just something's going on. I know we talked a little bit about, like, your people, and you came from people that knew things, and they didn't call it psychic mediumship or whatever the case is. So when did you ladies kind of accept, like, I'm different? This is for real.
Ooh, each of us has
different stories. Yeah, different stories. Yes.
Yeah.
But in our 20s, I say that in our 20s.
Yes.
Yeah.
We started reading cards. We were like, oh, we were accurate people. We didn't know, so that's when we're like, oh, this is something special.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. You got to book a reading. You know, he's kind of like our resident skeptic, but not really. I mean,
well, no, because I've had paranormal encounter. Like I've done, so I do investigations on my channel, and the first one, 30 minutes in, I had something happen, and it was like that the whole night. And then the one we did, we spoke to my friend who passed away.
Crazy.
And then the last one that we did.
He said me and his name. It was crazy.
This last one I did, I went back to Good Springs, which is about 30 minutes outside of town, and we went to the owner of the saloon's house, because his house is older, and it was definitely like a darker energy there. The spirit box said my name twice, and then it said George, who helps us with the live show. It said his name once. It even started speaking Spanish to us, which thankfully we had George there. George was able to start translating.
Right, and I didn't even know George spoke Spanish, and I've been doing a show with him for a year.
It's Cuban.
I'm like, right, I knew that, but whenever you don't speak it, I'm like, because I'm from California. I'm from the land where you can be Hispanic and don't speak not a lick of Spanish.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I didn't know he spoke Spanish until I was like, oh, who's that guy in the back?
It's George filming. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, because for me, like I'm very like against religion, but I think spirituality, I think, is something that is very real.
Yeah.
And especially within like the last few years, my mindset has definitely changed just with the things that I've encountered.
Yeah.
And then especially working closer with Noah and the investigations I've done.
I
did one time. I did one time.
He did.
I did one time. It was right after a show too. It was right after a show. I was being a little arrogant. Like, no, I wasn't like calling anything out, but I was like, I was just being like annoying, I would say.
Yeah, and then I smiled. I said, "Oh, you're finna go
I
on a ride."
texted her not even the next morning, and I said, "You're gonna laugh at me."
Yeah.
I said, I fucked around and found out.
And I did.
Yeah. In my dream, I had something like following me with like vivid, bright yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just following me. And like, it was weird where like in my dream, I'd be walking, I would turn, and then it would do like that Quentin Tarantino zoom in.
Yeah.
Just like on their eyes.
Yeah.
Every time. So then I woke up and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I went back to bed and then it was still there. Totally different type of dream. And Steve was still there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I feel like us being friends, it was like peanut butter and jelly, because we're so different, but we're so the same at the same time. So, like I said, you should book with them. You'd be surprised.
Well, I did one with you. She made my producer cry.
I did.
Wow.
I did. Yeah.
For psychics, that's
Yes. I mean,
had.
and it's crazy because I didn't know that wasn't a normal reaction for readings, because every time I would give someone a reading, they start crying because I use what I call my snitch. It's a pendulum, and I channel, loved ones or whatever the case is.
Nice.
So whenever he's like, "Oh my God, you made Franny cry," and I'm
Well, it was right there.
It was right there.
It was on the show. It was live.
Normal because they all leave crying at some point.
Yes.
And it's listen, tarot, mediumship, psychics, we don't be just talking to ourselves.
Exactly.
I would say that's mostly true but my experience, like I had met people in the past who were definitely like phoning it in and faking it. And like it kind of gave me like a tainted taste in my mouth, but like now it's totally different. But I also bullshit detector. I'm pretty good at doing bullshit detection. So I'll be like, what is this? And then no, that's not real.
No, because I tell them, because I'm like, are we reading on a particular topic today? And they're like, well, and they take that deep breath, like, I'm finna tell. I'll be like, don't say nothing.
Yeah, don't lead the witness.
Topic, is it career, finances, love? What are we talking about?
Exactly.
And we kind of just go from there. But
you were right about mine though.
Yeah,
she was right about mine. Like, so I worked at a previous studio. George and I worked at a previous studio.
Yeah.
And it ended up being the owners were bad business partners. They were taking all the money, and people weren't getting paid.
I said, "Boy, you in danger." You
What made me so like even at that moment, like at the reading, I was still a little skeptical. But then like a month later, she texted me. She goes, "What happened?" I was like, "What the? I haven't texted you in like a week." And I was like, "What happened?" And she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Yeah, Marvin is acting crazy." And she's like,
I told you. You got to move on from this, and it's. So do you, and this is for me, because we talked about my channeling during my reading, and I live here, and this is Maui. I told y'all, this is like springtime. Oh, everybody's out, at this weather, and it's 98 degrees, I think.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So the grounding part is hard for me.
Yeah.
So how do you, and I won't even ask that. Let me back it up. Is it normal for readers to sometimes feel like they just want to shut it down? They don't want to do them anymore? Is that just a Noah thing?
Because there's some other things where Noah has come to me and he's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to do it? You're doing great.
I'm like, no. And I don't know other readers other than a Mambo, where she's in this, she's different than me. But whenever it comes to like pulling cards or whatever the case is, do you ever feel like it's overwhelming?
No.
Well, you guys are psychics. I'm not. I don't have the gift.
You do have the gift.
Yes.
No, I don't have any psychic gifts. I don't feel like it. I feel like my daughter is more of a psychic than I am, but I feel like sometimes it's a lot as a reader, and I hold on to people's energy a little bit more than I should, and I don't know why. It's like I'm an empath, but I'm not that much of an empath. It's like a little bit of something just sticks on me every time I do my readings. But we talked about that in my reading. I gotta do better, y'all. My spiritual hygiene is shit. So I have to like hold some accountability. But I do have a question that we wrote for you. And it kind of piggybacks a little bit off of, no, not really, not this one. Okay, so can you share any personal experiences or encounters that you've had with mythical creatures such as mermaids, fairies, shapeshifters, ghosts, low vibrational demons? And how did these experiences influence your understanding of these beings?
Any Bigfoot sightings, first off?
We want one. We want
I've
one.
seen UFOs multiple times. I'm
Okay.
like, that's not a government experience.
Yeah.
But that's obviously a UFO. Like,
Yes.
the movement. Yeah, I'm like, that's a UFO. I've seen a fairy one time really quickly in my backyard.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was wild. I was like in the backyard and I'm just like,
Little
it just,
people.
Like, it was just like there. She went real fast.
Yes, that's how they say they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Do her job. So
Yeah.
she wouldn't do her job. What else
Yeah.
did I say? I've seen ghosts multiple times. I still see ghosts all the time.
Well, it kind of comes with the job description at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me think. What else? You guys have any?
Yeah, I had. Let me see. I was probably 9 or so. This was my first, like, I would say, experience with the paranormal. Like, I remember, like, I was sleeping in my bed, and all of a sudden, I felt my bed shake. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was so scared. And I
Of
was
course.
like, oh my God. At first, I was like, oh, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? That's what I thought, because it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So then the shaking went away, and I was like, oh, maybe it was just a dream. It just felt real. I woke up in the morning, and I was just like laying in my bed. All of a sudden, my bed, this was like 7, 8, 9 o'clock, violently shaking. I'm scared to death.
What the heck?
Scared to death. So then-
I'll show that in a second.
Yeah, I have,
that was our
no,
studio.
don't look yet. Don't look yet. I'll let you guys go first, and then I want to hear your guys' opinion on this.
So then I was like, oh my God, I think that was a ghost. Oh my God, I'm scared. So then I go to look over in my bed, and I start seeing a dent as if someone's sitting there, no joke. And I was like,
Thank you.
what the heck? And you could just
No,
see
thank you.
it forming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm
Right.
freaking out. I get up from the bed. My bed does not rise. The dent does not rise as I get up. It stayed there. Then when I came back a couple hours later, the dent was gone. But I never had that experience again. But that scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah, it would have
Like-
scared me too. And that's why I tell people, even though I'm in this creepy lifestyle, I still get shook, okay? I'm a spiritual thug, but I'm still human. Nope, I'm still scared.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that is insane. So how do you, whenever you encounter these beings or whenever you think about it, how do you kind of, what's your understanding of their purpose? Like, why are they here? I don't understand. Like, what is the purpose?
I think just being too open. I think that's what it is. A lot of people are open. Some people open up portals. They don't know. Some people are doing all sorts of things. They're inviting all their ancestors, and I'm like, you don't know all your ancestors. Some of your ancestors all come in.
Yeah.
But you might have an ancestor might be a psychopath.
Yes, yes.
And then they're attached
Exactly.
to you. They don't want to
Yep.
leave. And you're like, oh my god. Like,
I've been talking to my clients because I just did my last reading, and
Yes.
I said, Spirit is telling you to stop calling upon all your ancestors. Even I'm saying it, like, I stopped doing it because if you're trying to do money conjuring, root work, you calling on little brokey that ain't never had no money or whomever.
Exactly.
Calling your ancestors that are good with money, that had money.
Let me call the gambler in to help me with my money problems.
Whenever I go to the casino, I tell them, I say, I'm asking for the ancestor that won at the casino, that won during card game.
You get the ancestors like, I'm just happy to be here.
You know?
Exactly.
And we don't know, like you said, we don't know all of them. And a lot of us have been our lineage was our ancestry was colonized. And some of them people don't like us, okay?
Exactly.
So, yes, I've opened up a portal on accident doing that. I had to learn the hard way.
But not even that. Sometimes when people call like all their ancestors, you might have an ancestor that might have been a psychopath.
Yes.
They might have been worshiping the devil.
Or a demon.
So I would say like
Yeah.
calling your like high vibration ancestors.
Yeah.
I tell people, they're like, you know what, that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. And it's so funny you said a demon because I was watching Sloan Bella's. Do you guys watch her?
I've heard her.
I've heard of
Yeah.
her before.
Yeah. I was watching one of her videos And it was about Kendrick Johnson, the teenager from years ago that got stuck in the mat, right? And of course, we know that wasn't an accident. But so she's like, the family of the person that did this, their ancestors are demons. Some of them were into demonology and they have that spirit on them.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. And that's why she was saying, like, that's the reason why this hasn't been solved. They have a lot of power going on, which is insane.
That's interesting because when we, like the last investigation, there's a mine shaft on the property. We didn't go in it because the ladder only went halfway down, but we asked the spirit box, we asked, did you get left down here? And we got an audible yes. And it's not shown in the video because it kind of was broken up.
Yeah, it's afterwards,
but we asked her, like, is there, like, we always try to frame it as, my stuff is very theatrical and very like hyped up, but I'm not there to antagonize. I always preface, like I always go in there and I talk to the room and I'm like, I'm here to observe. I'm just hoping that you'll allow us to be visible to you or you to be visible to us. But we off camera, we were asking like, is there something you like haven't been able to say? And it came back and it was like audible, but it was like kind of lost in the static. And so I feel like maybe that's a lot of the times people are stuck is because they never got to say anything. And that's why a lot of the times I feel like you can find like dark energy because they're pissed off. Like they're like, I didn't get to express.
And that's exactly what it is, because somebody once said that demons are just people that are just mad. Some of them are like what we think of like a demon, but a lot of the dark, I won't even say demon, those low vibrational energies where they just look like a black mass are people. And I did not know, which I don't know what to believe at this point because I'm like, damn, but I've heard that before. So it's like my understanding of these creatures, such as the Fae people and the Duendes, I believe that they're on this earth, but they're in another like dimension kind of thing. It's like a veil where everything's going on all at once, but we can't see what the other, that's where astral projection and traveling,
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. But to answer your question, I think when some people, they start their spiritual journey, they just want to be open to anything. They just start tapping into stuff and all of a sudden they're like,
spiritual boundaries.
On your door.
Yes.
Even if you're unconscious of what you're doing, you could be bringing in stuff through your dreams or through astral projection you don't even know.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. That accidentally has happened to me a time or two. And I was like, oh no. Had to pull out that cedar. I had to pull out the Psalms and rub it all over it because I was terrified because I had accidentally astral projected and then had this encounter with this that was a demon. That was not a human. And when I came back and I woke up, it was still there. It was in my closet. And so I jump up. I always tease him and say I jumped up like Popeye because I'm ready to fight. Because now you followed me into my realm. And I heard it was in a dark closet, but I could see because my eyes were adjusted. I was just in this room astro, so I could see it. And I opened the door and turned on the light and it was gone. But that literally scared me so bad.
You said I did that when we did the studio because there was, and we'll show you guys here in a little bit what we ended up capturing.
Whatever that was.
But there was like definitely like a darker energy in like the back warehouse area. We found out that originally it was like a boxing gym and the land itself here, everything is probably not good land.
It's not good land. We have brand new houses in Aliante, which is a suburb. And they're haunted. I mean, brand new builds, and they're haunted. Yeah.
Wow. But I was very, not confrontational, but I was very like, I don't know, I guess steadfast. Yeah, stern with like, whatever's here, like, I want to know what it is because I work here. Like, I have to be here every day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
for real.
Like,
yeah. And when we were doing the ghost hunt, before we even started it, I came in, I think the day before, and we did interviews. And I said,
we had calls from beyond that night too.
Yes. Yeah. So I did a pendulum reading, and it was like, there's some kind of dark energy here. And
you were talking to my friend,
yeah, Christian, his friend, he passed suddenly from COVID in 2020, or 2020, right?
Yeah, 2021. And
2021. And so I could feel Christian's that light, trying to keep that darkness at bay where no one's being hurt. It was almost like he was gatekeeping.
Yeah.
And during the investigation the following night, We got that on camera.
So to preface this, so we had so many cameras. We had we do everything Ghost Adventure style. We have full production. We have. I mean, you were shook by how
I was like, oh, y'all fancy. We
I
was just gonna bring my phone out like that.
So we had two dedicated camera operators that were following us with IR cameras, the ones that see in the dark. In the studio, this was the last studio I worked at. We had security cameras and they could see infrared. So we were rolling those two to our main base camp, and Franny, my producer, was watching this all and he goes, hey, the camera just went out, but this was the last frame. So I have the last frame here.
Yeah.
And this is in the back warehouse room.
Yes, attached to now.
So someone's standing there.
That's a guy.
And we'll edit
that's a
this
man.
into the video so that you
So
can see it.
what's there is actually a shelf. So it looks like somebody peering over the shelf.
Yes, it does. A man peering over a shelf.
But and in the video it's shown, but what we did is we had a REM pod behind, because there's right here is a wall, because we were setting it up as like a temporary studio space. We did this show called Gamer Junkies where we put a couch and we play video games. So it was behind the wall, and that was like our storage area. We had props for like my show, for a bunch of other shows. It was just boxes.
So we're thinking maybe it's that.
So
right? We go back there. This is like, we're doing this. We literally go back there to see what that is. We're like, maybe it's a prop. Nothing there.
Exactly.
Nothing to our eyes was there. But we had the REM pod sitting on the table.
And it was
and I was mad. I was like, all right, I'm gonna start touching boxes. Let me know which one is yours. And we started touching, and eventually we got to one box and it started going off. I don't remember exactly what, because it wasn't my box.
It was Jay's box.
John's?
No, I'm sorry, Brian.
Oh, it was Brian. So Brian is
Brian, not Jay.
Brian is a friend of ours. He did the investigation with us. He's
sensitive.
He's sensitive, but his sister is a medium, and she came on the show, and I saw her in real time. Nice. I was gonna talk about that with them because I wanted to see what you guys thought of that. Yeah. Because that was when I really started believing in like, oh, mediumship is it's not just. Because there are people who try to like capitalize on it and make money off of people and stuff like that. But this person doesn't advertise it.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell anybody unless like somebody's trying to go through to you, which I found out when they watched this ghost hunt that Christian was trying to come through her. And Brian called me and I was like, I don't think I'm in the headspace right now to talk about it.
Yeah.
But so she was sitting next to me on the table. I'm interviewing her for the show I had at the time, Bizarre Junkies. And my engineer was this lady named Lana. Now, Lana had, she had an abortion years ago. And I think it was like a medically required one. Like her body, like her uterus or something was not able to handle it. And so we didn't tell her that. And she didn't even like bring it up. I see her and all of a sudden, like only one arm starts getting goosebumps and she like freezes. She's like, there's somebody here right now. Lana, I think it's one of your family members, and it's a little boy, and he has like dishwater hair. And Lana has had a ghost that's been following her for a couple of years. Like she has videos of like somebody randomly shushing her in her apartment. Nobody's there.
She's get rid of that. That's not good.
Well, that's what she thought. But then this medium was like, no, I think that's the child that you were meant to have and couldn't, and they're just with you. But like nobody had told her that. Nobody had filled her in on that. And like I was sitting there like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
I've been trying to. I know your medium friend is busy. I literally, we've been trying, but now we got our girls here. But I was trying to get like a medium to come on the show, you know, because we talk about that so much on Calls From Beyond. So we were trying to get, and then it's like God just dropped you guys right in my lap, and I was like, Jesus, is that you? You showing up? So, you know. It's just a lot of things that we don't understand, and our egos cannot be that big to think that there's no other realms, there's no other dimensions. We are the only. My favorite saying is, "There's more dead people walking the earth than living." Exactly. Trust me, you know. But I wanted to ask you now. I know we were talking about mythical creatures. How do you perceive the energy or aura of mythical creatures differently from humans? Like, does it feel different whenever those kind of things connect with you?
Like, I feel like that is not human. That is something else. Even some people have spirit guides, and some people have aliens that are spirit guides. It's not a human. It's something else. No, it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Oh my gosh. See, and I told somebody on my TikTok, or I made a video, and I'm like, we're talking about ancestor spirit guides, and I'm like, your spirit guides do not have to be human.
Yes.
They could be Fae members. They could be aliens. They could be
animals. To be a little funny, could mine be the quesadilla from Taco Bell?
I would love it to be. Okay, we have an inside running joke about Taco Bell on this channel.
Yeah, they get mad at us. We're like, not Taco Bell again. I had Taco Bell right before this, by the way.
We love Taco Bell.
Please sponsor us, Taco Bell.
Sponsor us.
You guys want some free chalupas?
Right, some free chalupas, some Mexican pizzas. But it's like, I don't know if all of my spirit guides are human or whatever. I have a special love for small animals, so it would be really nice if
you had the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
No, that would be so cool.
What happened to him?
No,
he got old.
He just disappeared. The whole mascot gone.
Well, he got old. That was 15, 20 years ago.
These people.
They took him away because they said it was a stereotype. And that's what they did. That's what happened.
The sensitive police started.
Taco Bell never claimed they were Mexican food.
No,
that's what I tell people.
Never. Yes. It's not.
That's what I tell people.
Bring the dog back, you guys.
Bring the dog back. So I'm like, I have a thing for small animals.
Yes, I love animals too.
Miniature.
Yeah.
Have you seen a miniature cow?
Yes, they're so cute. They're cute. The miniature horses, the miniature donkeys, they're so cute.
So I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind if my spirit guide was a micro pig or a teacup Yorkie.
A micro pig.
Well, sometimes they're their power animals are animals. Yeah.
So
mine is probably a pigeon.
Yes.
Not a pigeon.
The government bird.
Right. So
they're smart.
Yeah. So whenever they're animals, do they still speak? Of course you can hear them. Is it just regular English?
Yes.
What's up and a bark if it's a dog?
Yeah, they'll say their name. I had a dragonfly. This was a couple months ago. I was sitting outside my backyard, and a dragonfly came and landed right next to me. I was sitting on the ground.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't move. Usually they'll move.
Right.
They get flustered and kind of move away. But this one sat with me for 20 minutes. And I was like, what's your name? He said, my name is Bradley.
Who is Bradley?
What a sophisticated gentleman.
Sophisticated.
So I went inside to go use the bathroom, and I was like, oh, that dragonfly's probably gone. Came back outside. He came and sat right by me. Again, I have a picture on my phone. It's probably gone, though. But it's a blue dragonfly. He said his name was Bradley. Yeah, he said his name was Bradley, and that was it. And he sat with me.
Oh, wow.
That's they speak whatever language the person is
yes.
that you understand.
Yes.
So how, okay.
Yeah.
That's the person that's channeling.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, because if it was the other way around, it's you have a bunch of spirit guides, someone that speaks Mandarin, Chinese, or Spanish.
Yeah. Do you guys know who Penn and Teller are? So Penn Jillette is he's a devout atheist. He's there's no such thing. Okay. Yeah. He's very vocal about it. He went to a medium to try to prove that they were bullshit. And this kind of not formed my opinion, but kind of I was like, that does kind of make sense. But now hearing this from people who actually do it, it kind of does the opposite. He went to a medium and he was like, oh, my mom's talking to me? Yes, your mom's talking to you. He goes, oh, what language is she speaking to me? And she goes, English, of course. He goes, no, I know you're full of it because my mom only talked to me in German. And hearing that, it makes a little more sense now because it's if it's who the person is channeling can understand that would how confused would you guys be if they're just
well, some of them give symbols too.
Yes.
Symbols. They're hey, here's a whatever.
Right. You're showing me a heart
and you're
necklace.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Some of them have an accent. They'll speak English, but they'll have an accent.
Yes.
They'll show I'm speaking to you in English, but I'm really from France.
Yes.
French accent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, this is so crazy. We're literally answering all of my questions.
I didn't get to write down mine, but I have a good one for you guys at some point. But
So I'm trying to go through to see which ones I can use.
While you're doing that, if you want, I can ask mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
So are you guys familiar with the stone tape theory? So this is something I learned from Jay from Ghost Adventures, and he was on the show. So the stone tape theory is that when there is a murder or a traumatic event or a significant event, the room gets coated in the energy. And so that's why places that have dark histories have a lot of haunting encounters is because there's a lot of energy and it's still in the room. It's it never had a chance to move on because it was such a gruesome. And I always made the joke of how come with ghosts you always see ghosts of older people, maybe people from slavery or from and you think about it, people today, we don't die as graphically or as of course there are the exceptions because life is still there. But back then people were medicine wasn't where it is. People were dying more graphically and roughly. And so I think this is a really good theory. And I just wanted to see if you guys were aware of it. Just because I think this kind of helped me with like, when I did my first paranormal investigation, I was very like conflicted about what I had seen. Cause I'd seen a lot, like stuff I couldn't explain. And I was like almost in shock, like leaving like afterward, like we wrapped up production and I was driving back and Travis, who was driving, was like, I'm surprised you're not like super giddy. Cause this was like really, and it was really exciting. It was really cool.
Quiet as hell. You said,
I was contemplating. It was like when my friend died. My body was trying to like accept it but reject it at the same time, and I was like, I have no idea what I encountered. But then after hearing about the stone tape theory, it kind of helped my brain make that gap, like bridge the gap, and be like, oh, okay.
I've never heard of that. So the theory is basically like when something traumatic or something happens in a space, it kind of leaves an imprint. And
so like I always use the example, like if somebody was to come in here, God forbid, and kill us all with like an axe, our energy would be coded in the room.
Of it, because it's
so
terrible.
graphic and gruesome and extreme and
Oh, so it's like that one movie, like the what did they say when you die and it's terrible? It's I forgot what. I think it was The Ring.
Maybe
that they were talking about that, or maybe another one, The Grudge. It's one of them. Oh, it's The Grudge, because in Asia they believe that if you die a horrible death, terrible death, then it kind of leaves that same aura. Yeah. Because I had questions recently like, why do ghosts stick around? Exactly. What are you waiting on? Exactly. Go to heaven. You know,
some can't believe they're dead though.
Yes.
So they stay. It's like in a hospital. Like when you go to certain hospitals, you could feel the death in the room.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I fell asleep. I was visiting my mom when she was in the hospital. I vowed if I'm not staying there, I will never sleep in a hospital again. It's a lot of energy. And I don't understand it because like I was sleeping, you know, those chairs, the visitor chairs that turn into like the bed.
That was great when my kid was born.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Best night of sleep I ever got.
Mandela, he hated it, but I was sleeping in there and it was so loud. It was like I was going through sleep paralysis, but I was like, oh my God, it's so loud. It's loud, it's loud, it's loud. And I heard my dad's voice within these voices. And he's like, Bree, whatever, which this is for members only anyway, first, right?
Yeah.
Whatever is attacking you or bothering you in your house, it likes to sit next to you by your desk.
Wow.
Mind you, I told you I opened up a portal on accident.
Yeah.
So
bad.
So I'm like, what? And then I guess because I was communicating with my dad, like I felt somebody put their hands on my shoulders. And so I look and it's an older white gentleman with a hoodie on, a Stanford, you know how it looks, bald, gray, kind of going bald, but had little fuzzies. Yeah. And he's looking me in my face and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me and he's like, basically, you could see me? Yeah. I must have jumped out of that damn chair. I said, all right, I gotta go, Mom. You all right? You know,
doctors will take care of you. I guess.
Yeah. So from then on, I'm like, hospitals, places where there are traumatic deaths that happen. You know, you have the ER and the trauma unit there. It has to be some kind of like imprint.
I think it's that too, especially like at hospitals. Like you think about it, it's like
you're born, you die there. Exactly. It's a lot of energy.
It'd be great to interview the nurses and doctors there.
Oh my gosh.
They have shows like that. But that'd be great to interview.
What's the people who do the
EMTs?
The autopsy.
Well, so I had my old show, what made me go viral the first time was I had a guy on who does crime scene cleanup.
Yeah.
And he had it was more so like the gory side, but he was like, yeah, I've absolutely experienced things where like you'll be in a house and there's nobody there, and like the body's not there because the coroner already comes and takes it. He said the coroner takes anything that's bigger than 2 fists. Yeah. Everything else is left for them to, as long as it's not evidence, is left for them to clean up. So like eyeballs, teeth, all that kind of stuff. But he said sometimes it'll be him and like another person cleaning up, and they're wearing full hazmat. So like, it's not easy to talk through. And he'll hear a voice as clear as day. Talk to him, he's like, "What'd you say?" And they were like, I didn't say anything. Yeah, and the room just still has.
How freaking scary is that? Yeah. I wanted to be a mortician at one point, and I said, "You are scary. What are you talking about, girl? You can't be, you know." And I still may, just to say I did it, but it's scary, the things, and that's why I was telling I think it was last week on the live show. Like, I could never be a medium. I couldn't. I'd be scared.
Learn how to turn it on.
Yeah.
You know, it's only one time that I've ever felt like, man, I wish I was a medium, is whenever I'm trying to communicate with my ancestors. Yeah. I had a cousin that just literally dropped dead, and we were super close, and I don't feel her. I don't feel her. And I'm like, does she reincarnate? Those are the times where I wish I had the gift. Yeah. But anytime else, I'm like, you are too scary for that girl. You are too scary. Could you be a medium?
No.
Why?
I don't think I could hang. I don't think I could handle it.
God gave y'all some no limit soldiers over here.
Most of the time, you can't communicate with someone who's deceased, or sometimes they either reincarnate, like they just came right back, or they have nothing to say,
and they don't want to talk.
Yes, because I feel like with my cousin, God bless her, so she didn't get to reach her fullest potential, you know? She was 37 years old. She didn't have any children. And she died alone, and that really bothers me. So it's like, I never feel her, and I'll even try to do readings where I channel, and it's just like, And the first thing I thought is, did she reincarnate just that quick? Like, damn, girl.
Fast pass.
Some people go up and come right back down. Like, literally, like we had, I can't remember her name. We weren't closer. I think it was like our great aunt. I don't know. But basically, I never met her. I knew nothing about her.
Right.
So my mom was like, oh, so-and-so died. And I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, huh. And she starts talking to me, like literally. And she's like, tell your mom, I'm not staying in heaven too long. Come on, you talking to God, and me and God discussed, I'm coming back down. I got too many things to do. I got to enjoy life. And
oh
she
my
goes,
gosh.
That's her. That's her. She's always like,
she negotiated with God to come back. She said,
so let me tell you something.
When it was like her talking to God and like discussing how she wants her life, and she told me exactly where she was going. She's like, I'm going to be in Mississippi. She showed me what she's going to look like at 5 years old. She's like, these are my two parents. She showed like this beautiful. She's like, I'm dark skinned in this life.
Right.
She's like, I'm dark skinned. I'm going to be in Mississippi. So like this beautiful white dress, and I was just like, wow. And she was like, all right now, bye bye. Like I'll be coming back down really soon.
Oh
but she was like, I'm not coming back into the family.
No.
She's like, I'm going
somewhere else. Yeah.
And I was like, and I asked her, I was like, well, is anybody in the family ever going to connect
come back,
with
right?
you? Like anything? She was like, no, I don't want to connect with y'all. I want to.
I don't want to connect with y'all
because she wanted to enjoy. She was like, I'm done with the family. I have friends. Now I want to move.
Don't take me to the cookout. I don't want to go.
And I like no bad blood. She was just like, I want to experience Mississippi. I want to experience this. And the two parents that she chose, they traveled the world a lot.
Ooh.
And that's why she chose.
Oh, no wonder.
Because she grew up in the South.
Yeah.
She died like in her 90s, so they didn't get to travel that much.
Right.
So she was like, I'm ready to go. And she showed herself Africa, Australia. So she was like, forget y'all.
Damn. She said, okay, so here's $1 million question that I did not write down, and I'm sorry. Do you want to reincarnate?
No. No. I want to come back as like either a cat, like a fancy house cat.
Yeah.
Or a dolphin. I made that decision.
A dolphin is really good.
You would like being one of my cats then. They don't do anything.
Cats are so fancy.
They sleep and they eat. They have an automatic feeder. They know exactly what time.
Like with their pretty eyes. Like I really want to be like a lap cat to just like sits in the window and just glamorous and
I used to say I wanted to be some rich woman's dog, but I literally wanted to be Paris Hilton's dog, you know? But then I said, you know what? After I became spiritual, I said, I do not want to do this. Do it again?
Yeah, I don't want to reincarnate. I don't think.
I'm being a dolphin just in the water, just going everywhere.
It was something like that. And even me being a dolphin, I would want to be somebody's spirit guide in that way. But I want to go to the ancestral realm. I want to go to Marvin Gaye's concert. I'm trying to go chill and just help my lineage members the way that my ancestors helped me.
Exactly.
But girl, no.
You should do to see where your cousin's at. You should ask your spirit guides, like, where is she? And they'll probably and they might tell you like she already reincarnated, or maybe she's on the other side. Like,
I wonder how I can do that, because I want to tap in more, and I don't feel like I'm able to sometimes. That's why I said I be getting so discouraged. I will close down my readings in a minute. I don't care. And I'll be telling them like, I'm sorry, but I'd rather close them down to take your money and feel like I can't pull spirit, you know? I'm not a con artist in that way. You know, that money is not that good to me where it's worth like my ethics.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I want to know where I'm seriously trying to figure out a way to figure out where she's at.
She could be in the resting room. If she died a traumatic death or had a traumatic life or a lot of health issues, she might be resting.
She did have a lot of...
Well, that's where she's at. That's why you can't connect with her.
Oh, well then, girl, why didn't you just say that?
And she goes, well, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Because, let me rest. Leave me alone.
Right, okay. Because even, like... And she had health issues, diabetes. And we didn't know. She wasn't diagnosed until she was like 18 or 19 years old. And she had ran into my grandma's garage because she blacked out. She didn't know. But that's not even what they said was wrong with her. She was hiding the fact that she was sicker than that. So it's like, I feel like I was robbed, but that's the selfish, that's the flesh part of me. I didn't even know they had a resting room. They got a waiting room up there?
It's psych wards there. They have psych wards. They have therapists there.
Yes.
What?
Yes,
like if you're like schizophrenic or have severe mental illness, you go over there. They actually treat you on the other side. Like like if you're a drug addict, you go to rehab over there.
Because they're trying to help your consciousness. They're trying to raise your consciousness, your vibration.
Oh my gosh.
Reincarnate and have a better life and to make better decisions.
And you have to wake people up sometimes.
But if you have really bad sickly body, you go to the resting room because your soul is depleted. You know? Because if you think about some people's souls, when they go through traumas, parts of their soul is gone.
Yeah.
So they
loss,
go there and the soul needs to come back. It needs to recuperate. So it's a couple different realms. Even like for babies who die at a young age, there's actually a bunch of women. They go into like this realm and there's a bunch of women who are actually
nurturing them,
taking care of them and stuff like that. So.
Oh, that is beautiful. And it's just crazy because I always tease her and I be wondering if she hear me because I'm like, girl, how could you do that? You left me. Like, you just got the nerve to die on me like that? Because when I say, like, she literally came home from work and she wasn't feeling well. And we had to, like, piece it together from her coworkers. They're like, oh, we thought... She said she had period cramps. And it wasn't period cramps. By the time she got home, she was in so much pain. And it was like... girl, how could you not tell me something was going on? So I always tease her. And I also tease her about the fact that... when we did her viewing, they didn't draw our eyebrows on. Oh. That was, I said, oh no, you ain't finna haunt me.
Exactly.
So I had a pen. I told him, bring me a pencil. I'm a, pencil on her eyebrows.
Yes.
They wasn't the way she do them, but.
Better than not at all.
Right. Because.
She appreciated it.
Yeah.
See, I do that to Christian though, because he was like, I mean, we talked about it. Like he was like an asshole.
Yes.
And that's something he would do. Where he'd be like, ha, I'm dead now.
Yes.
You're like,
yes. And that's.
What?
When I channeled him, though, I said, he plays entirely too much. He don't take anything seriously. He's the same as he was, so he was like, oh my God, yeah. And this is what, a year ago, whenever?
Yeah, this was last November.
Yeah, I was just a guest and I channeled and I said, he's like funny, so I can feel spirit in that kind of way. But yeah, I did not know that there's nurseries, hospitals, psychiatric wards, resting places. Next thing I'm gonna hear is that there's a club up there. Right. Do they have entertainment? Is that
they have a Hakkasan up there?
Yeah. Like literally, like it's
another realm.
It's another realm. They have bowling, they're eating, they're dancing.
What?
Like I was with a client one day and I kept seeing what's his name? With the animals, he died with the jellyfish.
Steve Irwin.
We were just oh my gosh.
We were
in the Bahamas. We were in the Bahamas and we were talking about stingrays and I was like,
hey, sometimes you gotta like let the stingrays know he got hitters out here.
Yeah, because that was so random to pass away.
Exactly. And he showed himself like in heaven. He's like, yeah, I'm with the animals up here doing the same exact
things that you do down here.
Doing down here. So there's a lot that goes on up in heaven. Just continue on and having a good time.
Yeah, because you know how people always tease like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen how the ghost comes down and he's like, oh, I gotta go. Marvin Gaye and Tupac are having something upstairs, right? So I always thought like heaven is this realm, right? That it's like you're just chill. It's like Earth Part 1, really, Part 1, not Part 2. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Souls decide to come down. That's the thing. That's how it works.
Some people don't have a choice. I mean, in reincarnation.
Who believes that?
Do people have a choice if they're reincarnated or not?
They pretty much do. Some of them have to get sent down. Like they're like,
they have to learn.
I know you don't want to go, but you need to go. Your soul did not evolve, and you're not going to sit up here. It's like with a child as a parent.
Yeah,
you're like, oh God, I know you're getting bullied at school, but you need to go confront your bully. You're not going to sit here, and so it's the same thing. So there will be times the soul's like, I don't want to go, and they're like, you have to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gotta go. But it's more of when it's not evolving. But most of the time, it's a choice. Like it's exactly like my great aunt. She's sitting there talking to God. I want to go down. I choose these parents. I want to do this. I want to experience this. Blah blah blah. So I would say like 95%, 96%. It's a choice.
One thing I found fascinating doing readings was some women, like when they'll have miscarriages, you can see the energy of the baby, and the baby will actually come, or the soul that was supposed to come will be like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom, I just didn't want to go. And that's why she has a miscarriage.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
Yeah, they'll tell them, like, I'm sorry, but I just didn't want to go. Like, I looked down, I was like, no, thank you.
There's probably a Chuck E. Cheese up there, and they don't want to come down because I did not know that. And but these are. This is Psychic Medium Chronicles.
And that gives some women like peace though. They're like, you know what? Like that made me feel better. Like,
it helps the healing process, especially. But the fact that they're able to see, because I know I don't want to come back, and I hope I'm being good. God, I hope you hear me now. Please, I want to be up there watching or whoever. I want to go to Michael Jackson 1 upstairs, okay? I don't want to like come back. And it's not a big fear, but my fear isn't about coming back. It's about me not fulfilling what my soul was meant to do. It's like God just sends us down here, no instruction manuals, bills is high, these kids is ghetto. So it's like, I don't know what to do, how do I escape that? So, and this question was not also written down, y'all, I'm sorry. Is there some type of way for us normal folk, right, that don't have the gift, to navigate how we can make sure that we are fulfilling our soul's purpose in this life?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What do I think?
Yeah, we think.
I don't think about that one.
Enjoy your life and have as much fun as possible.
Yeah.
And fulfill like your joy, I guess. Be a good person. I really do think that's what it always is. Yeah.
I remember when we had our reading, you were like, you are actually meant to do what you're doing right now. And I'm like, what?
Are you sure?
Are you sure this is it? You're like, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're supposed to be exposing people to other things, like the creepy, cryptid, spiritual, like no veil type of content.
Exactly.
And to live your life and try to live life with not a ton of regret. Because then when you die, you regret all the stuff you didn't do. And you're like, you're not gonna come back down there and do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. My fear of death has also gone down tremendously.
Must be nice.
my poor guy over here, he's like...
Oh yeah. There's like it's called thanatophobia, and it's like the fear of dying or like the process of dying.
Yeah.
Because like as much as like life sucks, sometimes I do enjoy it. Like I do want to be here. I actually have therapy Wednesday, so like that's something I talk about regularly with him.
Yeah.
Are you a control freak?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what.
It's like the how. Is it the how you're gonna die that scares you?
I think it's just like I don't want to go necessarily. Like like sure, sometimes it sucks, but then I'm like, oh, I still want to wake up.
Right, this is not bad.
Yeah. Taco Bell is right down the street from my house.
Yes, I'm gonna need y'all to ask Spirit, is there a Taco Bell or any other
it's because I had it
Mexican food, up there? Because it sounds like they have fun, and it's so crazy because we have ancestor money in my house and we burn it and we tell them like, use this on the other side. But now that I know that there's actually a like whole world and they really could be using the ancestor money.
They do.
Okay.
Do they ever come to ask you for more? They're like, this isn't cutting it. We need a bigger.
I feel like they do.
Some ancestors want food.
Yeah. Oh, we give them spreads of everything.
Yeah.
If you ever, or I notice for me, I'll be craving something and I'll be like, girl, you don't even eat that. And then I'll think about it. I'll be like, okay, let me go get this pork for you, grandma. Cause I know I don't want that,
What about the little one wanting jumbo or gumbo and never having it?
Oh my gosh. So my son, I pick him up from preschool the
I'm
other
on the phone
day.
with her, by the way. We're talking about like the business and stuff.
Yes. And I come and get him and he stands up from out of his sleep because he does nap time. And he comes over to me. He doesn't say anything to any of his teachers. I want you to make me gumbo.
Wow.
And his teacher was like, dang, you didn't even say hi, Mom.
Yeah.
I have never made gumbo. He has never tasted gumbo. I don't know where he got that from. And so that's what I was like, I don't make that. Like, at first I was like, dang, you didn't say hi to me. And I'm like, where did you even get this from?
Yeah.
I don't never met. I'm not that nice in the kitchen, okay? I'm not making no gumbo. I'm not domesticated. I need to be. I have 4 kids. But ever since I started this, I don't cook as much, you know?
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay. And now that he said it, maybe one of his ancestors is like, hey, I really would like some gumbo. Yeah, so they like food. My ancestors, I noticed, like food, tobacco. They be asking me to give them,
Bingo?
Oh, they love bingo. They love bingo. Even though that's something with me and my grandma do. That's our little thing. We'll go to bingo. But I know my great grandma used to go to bingo a lot out here.
Yeah.
But tobacco, they want me to give them liquor, but some of them be turning up a little too much. If you are and I want to ask you if this is correct. I don't give my ancestors regularly alcohol. And the reason being is a lot of them were addicts in life. Wow. And so, for instance, like my father, he passed away because he was drinking and driving. He didn't die of natural causes.
The apple juice.
So my daughter, she was 3 years old and she told me the whole story. Now, I didn't even know that man, so I don't know how he knew her, but apparently he told her that at 3 years old. So I was just like, I don't give them that because I know sometimes it'll have that spirit to jump on you. You want to drink. So, how do you guys feel about certain offerings such as liquor, things like that with the spiritual realm, especially if they had addictions in life?
I don't do any of that. So
You're like, I don't do any of that.
I've heard that you could give the offering of the object. It has to be from their highest good, and alcohol might not be for the highest.
Yeah.
Good. What do you need from your highest good to help your soul?
We offered Christian twisted tea.
Yeah, that was his favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, but Christian didn't have any problems with twisted
As far as
tea.
I know.
Yeah. So like, I practice hoodoo a lot, or some practices that I shouldn't say that I'm just specifically hoodoo. Some of the practices are hoodoo, and in hoodoo, we're taught like tobacco. Even if you just burn it, like you don't have to necessarily smoke it, but like cigars, different rums, different things like that. And some things I'm like, I don't want to give this to y'all. Y'all don't need y'all arguing between amongst. I believe that they get around my altar, and the ancestors that knew each other in life are still probably irritated with each other or had beef in life. So I try to, have days where I give them offerings, but I just want to see what y'all thought about the liquor part, because I've been told time and time again, some people don't need liquor. Some people don't need weed. Some people don't need different things.
Scratchers or...
Scratchers.
You know what? Someone said that they offer their ancestor scratchers.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, I personally think it's fine. I mean, it's their choice. They want to drink it or not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
But that's your choice if you want to give it to them or not also. So, it's kind of like a two-way street. Like,
Yep.
Give them the Kool-Aid.
You're right. I'll be like, here's your water. And you don't ask for nothing.
You guys aren't
Not
behaving.
sober.
Everybody gets water tonight.
Everybody gets water tonight.
Exactly.
But I mean, I do give them occasionally on very special occasions, like for my initiation ceremony, but every day I try to tell people, be careful. You need to really talk to them. See where your ancestors, what they were like in life. You need to get those stories from your people. Did they like to drink until they passed out? Did they like to do this and a third? Just be careful of the offerings.
Exactly.
It's very... It's levels. It's rough. The spiritual realm sometimes can be a lot. Do you guys feel like that too?
But what do you mean like a lot?
Well, for me, I think my a lot is different from you. You know, you guys, just because our practices like in hoodoo, in Ifa or whatever, it's like, well, you gotta cleanse, you gotta do this, and you gotta know this. It feels like sometimes it's so overwhelming, and people always ask me like different things. And you know what I tell them? I don't know, but I know Trinity Oracle. You can ask Danette and you can ask Austin. Yeah. But how does, and maybe I'm talking about the spiritual hygiene part of it.
Yeah.
How is that for you guys? How does it look? Is it different than what a spiritual a cleanse would be for me?
See, because cleanse for you and me are different. Because when I do investigations, all we do is just sage. I mean, we also speak. We're like, no, nobody can follow us home. Yeah. Like we're
done here. Yeah.
We're like setting boundaries of like, thank you for allowing us to be here. Please do not follow me home. You cannot come home with me, and then we sage. But I know for you,
I know for me, listen. I'm walking out backwards. I gotta put a candle right there. It gotta be a shot of rum for Papa Legba. Then I gotta go to the crossroads. I gotta clean myself with a coconut.
See, thankfully for me, nothing's followed me.
And whenever it's this type of what we were doing, because we were doing like a ghost hunt, right? Yeah. But like. A regular cleanse, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take a spiritual bath, sage down, whatever.
You know what's funny is Travis texted me I was on the phone with him the other day. He said he had to go to the studio, which nobody's there, and he said there's still salt in like the corners from you when you did it back in March.
Yeah, I cleansed
still
the
there.
Studio. Put salt in all the corners, kicked the coconut around. So
couldn't have helped it though. I couldn't save it.
No,
it's too far gone.
No, because you know why. It wasn't anything. I took all your people and was like, listen,
it was the living.
Roll out.
The living made it bad, not the.
So, what does your cleansing kind of look like?
I don't know. I think when you're like all the stuff that you were saying, like you have to do that. You feel like you have to do that, or you
no.
Saying you have to do that.
No. Some people swear by it. It's like how you like your coffee, depending on who you're talking to. Yeah. So, like, for me, when I get done with my readings, I can, if I feel like it was heavy, I'll just smoke cleanse, like, to the point where my alarm be going off, because I ain't playing none of that. Yeah. So, I'll open the window, and I'll go in my back and do all of this, and just say, thank you for helping me, but you got to go. You don't live here, you know? But for other things, like, a ghost hunt where I knew something was in that. I literally went all out and nothing folled me.
See, nothing's followed me, and we've just done the. But we also go in. We also deliberately, like off camera, announce our intentions. Like we're here to observe. We're not here to argue with you. We're not here to like piss you off. There are times where like this last one though was pissing us off because it was like a trickster spirit energy. Where like for like 3 hours it wasn't like it would like communicate enough and then leave.
Yeah.
And it was like toying with us. And so eventually we started being like, okay, if that's how we're going to play, that's how we're going to play. But at the end of the day, we were still like, okay, thank you.
Exactly.
Right.
But stay here.
Yeah. Because, and I feel like that's why a lot of the times I turn my readings off because it's always so much energy. You know, I had stopped channeling people's ancestors for a while because my kid is like, Mom, there's a little white boy in the hallway. Wow. And I was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Trying not to scare him, but I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, Lord, please, this is not the day. You know,
but you gotta need boundaries up.
You need you need spiritual boundaries.
Yes, and that's what I'm working on. Even like with my ancestors, I don't want y'all in my bedroom with me. I don't want you in the bathroom. Stay here. And that's why I said, what does cleansing look like for a psychic? What does cleansing look like for a medium?
Well, each of us have different ways.
We have boundaries. Like I use, I have black tourmaline, obsidian, and I think what do you call it, smoky quartz, and I put salt, so I don't absorb any of my clients' energy.
Exactly.
And that would be considered a boundary for you.
That's a boundary.
So is it almost like a force field kind of in front of you? Okay.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not tapping into their energy. I'm talking to their spirit guide. So that way, I don't absorb their energy.
Exactly.
But the spirit guide is positive.
Yes. So there's a difference.
Yes.
From doing a reading, and if I'm sitting here reading Austin and I'm picking up on your energy and your keys and all that other stuff, versus if I'm only talking to Austin's spirit guides and ancestors.
Exactly, because they're going to tell you about him. So,
and I think I mix it a little bit, and I don't know how do I turn it off. I don't know how to stop doing it.
You have to say, I want to talk to his spirit guide.
I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to our spirit guide.
We talked too much already.
No, that's what you need to do. That's the boundary. And they're like, okay, spirit guides are all positive. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Then we cleanse. Like if we do feel like we do need to cleanse, we just do like a salt bath or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So very minimalistic but efficient.
Exactly. Sometimes like if it's heavy, I'll imagine, like, I'll turn on rain sounds, and then I'll imagine rain coming down over my body. Yeah. So it's like spiritual rain coming down from the heavens, cleansing someone's energy. Yeah. But 99% of the time, I have what is that, obsidian stone? Yeah, and I'll just kind of go around my body. Occasionally, I'll use sage, but I'm not like a fan of like the smoke. So I'll just, like I said, I'll just do like the rain, and then I'll use like a stone, and sometimes I'll go outside, you know, or if it's like too hot or it's too cold, I go to the window. I got my little bowl of like salt, and I'll go to the window, and I'm like, you know what, any energy that isn't mine,
there we go.
leave
right,
my space,
get up out of here.
Now. So go into the trees, go into the salt, you know. So I kind of have a couple different things that I use.
It's like grounding too.
Well, that is another way that I can ground.
When you said you couldn't ground, he said it's too hot. You need to put plants around you.
Oh, well, don't give me no more ideas.
No, that's what you need if you can't. You know, it's hot outside.
Oh, yeah.
You can get third-degree burns out here. You can cook that on the floor.
No, it was so hot. I did what you guys told me to, right? And I went outside to do a reading. My phone overheated. I didn't get to do the reading. I had to come back in the house. Yeah, so I got my first set of plants today, like you guys told me. And I felt so connected. I opened them. I did an unboxing on TikTok because I was just so excited. I was like, oh my God, my children are here. Let's just say there's $150 worth of more of them in my Amazon cart, and I have 2 on the way. So I
should be like, I have to okay it.
Yes. So I'm hoping, and that's what the hope was, because I had almost forgotten about the plant thing until recently. And I was like, you need plants, and you need a waterfall. And you need like the little aromatherapy thing.
Yes.
Get your shit together. They told you this 2 months ago. What are we waiting on? So I literally like started mass ordering it. And as soon as I, and listen, I already like got repotting. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know.
Just do what you feel.
Yeah. Because I'm like, Lord, I don't know how to do any of this. But as soon as I unboxed them and I was like holding them, I felt so much better. And I was so excited, and I'm like, this is what this, like, and then I put them in front of a lamp because I did a reading earlier on accident, and I noticed they were standing up after like a couple of hours. I think it was like 2 hours. I said, oh my goodness. So plants around me, like live plants, and
for grounding if you can't go outside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you see, it's so amazing. We're all spiritualists in some capacity. We all have different ways we cleanse, like, but I like that, setting up a boundary of like of salt.
Yeah.
Like, you're not coming. This is me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also a color. I do a color. A picture, a certain color around me.
Like your aura.
Like a
force
I call it
field.
like a bubble. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. See? Now I gotta go home and try it.
She's gonna send me a picture. Look what I bought.
Oh yeah. So are you ladies on TikTok?
No.
You need to get on TikTok.
You gotta get on TikTok.
I told you now. You guys read me. I told y'all need to be on TikTok. I see that we started a Patreon.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm looking at the YouTube. I mean,
Yes. I showed him, like I sent him you guys' YouTube page, and I'm just like enamored. I can binge watch you guys' content because it's stuff that I've already heard. We've heard it all before, right? But seeing it happen in real time, I didn't see that one though.
This one?
The election.
The prediction?
Yes. You want to know?
Okay, let me tell you what my pendulum told me.
You guys don't want to hear mine.
5 times already. I was told that Kamala is going to win. Okay. Just making sure, because I can't do 4 more years. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yes.
But that's what I was getting to. And I'm like, you wouldn't lie to me, right, Pendulum? So I had to ask. I'm like, is my head wrapped? And it was telling me no. I'm like, do I have shoes on? It's like, yes, okay. Just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that one. And I love you ladies so much. I really do. And I know we didn't get through all the questions because they answered. I mean, they're psychic. They knew what I was going to ask. So what do you expect?